Hello and welcome everybody. This is Livestream with Restream. I'm your host Anya, and today joining me is Rita. She is
Hello
our
there.
of content. Hi, hi, hi. So
Hi.
excited to be here. And I see Lawson is already saying hello. Woohoo. Thanks for joining in today. We're super excited about this show. Today we're talking about Restream for marketers. So we have a lot of cool stuff for you and we can't wait to share it all. But as you guys are kind of getting in the chat and getting situated, we do have a quick question for you. Our favorite. We would love to know where in the world are you watching us from? And to make it a little bit harder on us, just make sure that you drop your country's flag. Don't just say the country, and we will try our best to guess. Rita, where are you where are you right now?
Can you guess, Anya, where I am? Most people don't know because this room does not really give it away. But I am in Europe in a very small mountainous country called Austria.
Awesome. Awesome. Yes. So Rita is with our Team Europe, and I'm with Team USA in Austin, Texas. And yeah, just drop us some flags so we can guess where you are. Okay. So here comes Paul with a very recognizable flag of Canada.
That one I
So
know. That's an
that's
easy
the
one. Thank you, Paul.
that is the one that we have, and this is super exciting. So Tom Stream dropped another very recognizable flag that we love and cherish, and so happy to see here. This is Ukraine. Thank you so much for dropping in. And of course, Lawson, who is right here with me in the same office, is dropping the US flag, which is super cool. Amazing. All right. So we have a great show for you guys today, and what we're focusing on is how you guys can use Restream tools, like a suite of tools, for marketers. So depending on what you do, what kind of marketing you're working on, there's definitely a great solution for you that we offer. And we're going to do a little bit of demos, do a little bit of talking. And of course, this is our live show where we focus on your questions. Our number one goal is to make sure we answer all your burning questions and concerns. So please drop in the chat anything that you would like to know.
Yeah, and we
So I
will also share with you how Restream uses live streaming for marketing purposes as well. Both Anya and myself are marketers by trade, and we're enamored with this product, not just as people who work for this company, but also as marketers. So we're just really jazzed to be able to share some of our secrets and tips and tricks on using live video for marketing purposes.
Amazing. So let's go ahead and start with the why. We have some reasons why you should consider live video as part of your marketing strategy. So, Rita, take it away.
I'm going to take it away. And since I'm a marketer, I mean, I don't mean to generalize, but I think us marketers, we in general like slides. One of the things about Restream is that you could actually upload slides. That's one of the coolest features, I think, in terms of running live shows. So um, I'm going to start up with some slides that are a trivia with some interesting questions that get to the heart of why we believe live video is so essential to any marketer's marketing plan. So, first question. Can you guess where these categories go in this colorful little bar chart? There's a lot of bars here. So maybe just say, what do you think is the lowest used type of content by marketers, which is the purple little first little square or rectangle? And what do you think is the most used, which is the orange one? And you can like add this to the comments if you'd like, if you have a strong guess.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna prompt a little hint
Yeah, thank
real
you, and
quick.
I sort of, like, skipped ahead, I'm sorry, I could barely wait to, like, reveal the answer, which is not great, but, um, the main call out here is that marketers are more and more investing in videos. And I think if you are a marketer by trade and exercise your trade right now, I think this might seem pretty obvious to you in the sense that video has sort of dominated the marketing scene now for a while, and it's continuing to do so. And all the stats point to this trend just continuing to grow more and more. So, video is important for us marketers, not just because it helps us with brand awareness, but actually for a lot of marketers. Video has a very strong tie to ROI or return on investment and to customer acquisition. This stat here says that 93% of brands got a new customer because they shared a video on social. If you're a practicing marketer, you're probably sharing videos on social on the daily. And you have probably gone through the pain of realizing, wow, video is so critical to my marketing plan, but gosh, it's really hard to produce. Like, raise your hand over here as a marketer, I guess, in your own homes, if you find video really difficult to produce. I personally am not a video person. And so I want to invest in video as a marketer, but I also want to find ways to do so without having to hire an entire production agency. And this is where Restream can come in super handy. Frankly, and again, I say this not as a Restream employee, I say this from one marketer to another. Restream can make you and your brand look so good on camera, just so amazing. This show right here is produced with Restream Studio. Anya probably has a bit more experience in video, but I have very little experience in video. And you don't need it to produce high quality, beautiful, professional looking live shows. So I would say that's really the first reason that we wanted to discuss in terms of why Restream is an important part of any marketer's marketing plan, because video is hard to make and Restream makes it really easy to make videos that look just awesome. Okay, next trivia question. You might or might not know that our pet here at Restream is a squid. We call him Squiddy. He's very cute. Do you know why Squiddy is our pet? Just
I
share
love
that
that
in the chat.
question. I love that question every time we ask it. I mean, it's kind of honestly, I think that this is one of the most unique mascots I've ever heard of because it's just so weird and so different, right? A lot of people have, a lot of companies have like dogs and cats and like cute mammals, right? Like that's kind of like what
Yes.
most are going for, like bears, raccoons, whatnot. But very rarely you have someone that weird and that odd as a squid. But it has a secret meaning, right? That
It
there is
has
a
a
reason.
meaning.
There is a
Yeah,
reason
we're not
why
just
it's a
weird.
squid.
We're
Yeah.
not strange to be strange. We actually, like, picked it on purpose. Okay,
I
so Paul
love
here.
I love this. Yes, this is a great answer. So many arms to reach so many locations from one body. That is very accurate. That's actually
Yeah,
that's pretty much it because yeah, he has one head and many channels. I mean tentacles, right? Like so one creator, all the destinations or one mind and
that's
lots
right.
of locations. This is
Exactly.
this is
Paul, like,
awesome.
spot on. If I could
Yep.
send you, like, a chocolate thingy right now as a prize, I would. Someday we'll add that as a feature in Restream. But, so not only does Restream allow you to create really beautiful videos, but then you can broadcast them to all your favorite social channels at once from one place. That's why Squiddy here has so many tentacles. In here, he's also drinking coffee with each of the tentacles. That's probably because I'm a coffee addict. I think it's really cute to have him drink coffee. But the point is that with Restream, you can broadcast everywhere at once. So gone are the days where you have to go on Facebook and then on LinkedIn and on every single channel separately. With Restream, you could do it all from one place. And this is really cool, not just because you are everywhere, but also because you're able to answer all of your audience's questions from one location. Like, all the chats from all the different channels are coming in to this one Restream studio session right now, which is allows me to answer them or for Anya to answer them really easily. And this is really a perfect feature if you are a product marketer or a marketer that is invested in ensuring that people understand the product that you're selling, that they understand new features that are being unveiled, and that you want to build a brand that is transparent and answers questions honestly and truthfully for their customers and customers to be. And so, multi streaming and integrated chat, which is the ability to answer all chats from one place, are awesome when it comes to running sessions where you unveil a new product, sessions that are called AMA or Ask Me Anything, or anything that's kind of a Q&A session. And of course, Anya and myself, this is so meta, but Anya and myself are doing that right now with all of you. And as we release new features, we typically do so in a live show format. And this allows us to not just release them in a way that feels significant for us and for the people who use our product, like yourself, but it also allows us to have a conversation with you. And that's the most important thing, because we feel that it's not a one way, this developing our product is not a one way thing. It's a two-way conversation where your feedback truly matters in what we prioritize in terms of features and how we talk about our products more broadly. So reason number two why Restream is so awesome for marketers is that you can have a conversation with your customers. You could also have a conversation in the sense of case studies. So we do a lot of that in a separate show called Creator Spotlight, where we feature people who are doing really interesting things with live video. And so for us marketers, gathering case studies and testimonials, examples of people using our products that are successful and happy is really important. And live video just makes it so easy to do that.
Yeah, absolutely. And the best part about this having a conversation part is that it kind of serves two purposes at the same time. So I actually work on the product marketing side of things at Restream. So for me, it's extremely important to not only be able to address the questions of our beloved creators and users, but also to collect their feedback, right? Like, so I want to make sure that our marketing activities are not necessarily just me educating or teaching people how to benefit from live streaming and Restream in particular, but also to collect their feedback and understand what we could do better. How can we improve things? And this is why live shows like this is basically, for me, it's a gold mine, it's a treasure chest. I can learn things that confuse you guys, things that you would prefer that we build so we could make your life easier. And this is something that every single marketer, every single business can relate to, no matter what you sell, whether it's t-shirts or services or courses or really complicated enterprise software. In any case, you would want to hear from your customers and from your users. And that's the unique opportunity that a lot of companies pay a lot of money for, to get that feedback from the users. And you can do it for free on social with your audiences, with your real-time users. That's, I think, is very, very powerful.
Yeah, I could not agree more. And then moving on to the third reason, another Q&A little trivia question. So, how many pieces of content do you think you can create from one live stream? I'll let you all add your guesses on the chat here.
Yeah, totally. Put your numbers in. And in the meantime, I see that some of you guys are appearing as Facebook users instead of sharing your name with us. I will go ahead and drop a link in our chat real quick here to show you how to give us permissions to show your name if you want to do that instead of showing up as a Restream user while you guys are
That's great.
thinking about the piece of content.
Yeah, someone said multiple, which I think is kind of actually the right answer because this is a bit of a trick question. The truth is, we don't have a specific number of how many content pieces you can make from one live show, but a ton is the answer. Many with many Ys. Multiple, as this Facebook user guessed. I listed some of the things that you can create here, from a podcast to social videos to quote graphics that you can share in multiple channels. The list is really endless. And so, one of the things that we like to toss around here at Restream internally when we talk about live video helping with the efficiency of content production is thinking of live video as cake or cookie batter, where you have one live show. Let's say you interview a customer or you interview a thought leader in your industry, and that's a 1 hour show. And then from what that 1 hour show, you can create a host of different assets, including a podcast. And so the value and the reach that you get from live video does not stop when the show ends. It actually expands when the show ends. So once you actually stop being live, then you can actually share those assets in edited format in a variety of channels. So from 1 hour, you can create hundreds of hours of content, which if you've ever run a content strategy team or an editorial team, you probably understand like how valuable that can be. Another thing that I wanted to call out here as well is that you even though Restream's core product is really focused on going live in the way that Anya and myself are live right now, you actually can use a record only mode, meaning that if you wanted to create a show and record it with a customer or anyone that you wanted to feature as a guest, or even you running a product demo, you could do so within Restream Studio, which is a sort of browser based, like easy to use, almost like production studio in your pocket. You could do that. You can record it, and then you can export it and edit it to turn it into other pieces of content, which is also really powerful. So you can choose to go live and then turn that live show into a bunch of different content pieces, or you can decide to use record only, record your content, and then turn that into a bunch of different content pieces, including a podcast, which is for us marketers one of the most like core use cases of repurposing a live video content or content created with Restream Studio.
And I see there are a couple of questions here in the chat. Matthew's asking, how does it work? And I also see that Facebook user says, I only record, I never go live. So I think it would be a good opportunity for us to go ahead and show you exactly how you can upload your recorded videos and make them live streams. And we'll briefly touch on the benefits of this for those who are not necessarily doing that just yet. So I'll go ahead and share my screen. For a second, you will experience this infinity loop. I know, it's crazy, but hopefully it's gone by now. So how does what's the point of upload and stream? That's basically the benefits of going live without the stress and the anxiety of it, right? Like you can record your video, you can edit it, you can make it perfect, and then you can still push it to go live and take advantage of the interactive aspect, as well as benefit from the platform algorithms that are prioritizing live videos, such as Facebook Live, LinkedIn Live, and YouTube. So you would start with your storage. That's the little cloud that shows you your uploaded videos. It is taking a little bit of time because I'm live streaming on the same computer and also demoing. But you will be able to click this upload button. Oh, actually, my plan doesn't. Oh, I'm not sure what's going on here. Sorry about that. Oh, it logged me out. Let me actually stop sharing for a second before I figure.
I can quickly share also just the value of this. I used to
Yeah.
work for a large B2B SaaS company, and one of our core marketing strategies was running webinars with high profile guests. And many of the guests, we just had massive scheduling conflicts where I mean, they literally had 15 minutes on a Saturday afternoon to record a webinar. And we were just unable to run a webinar at that time, or we would get very poor attendance at the times that it was just massive problems with scheduling. And then also, for some guests, like they did not want to be live because they wanted to protect their image and their brand. They wanted to be able to edit things out that they said that they were not comfortable with. And so at the time, this is pre Restream. And so when I first started working here and I realized that you could pre-record, edit, and then upload something as if it were live, and then use the chat as if it were live, which is by far the coolest feature that for the end user, like the person on the other side, they wouldn't realize that what you just are streaming right now is not live content. It's just super powerful. And for us marketers, I think it just solves a lot of problems and makes webinars and live events a lot easier and less risky to produce.
Absolutely. And yeah, like just like Rita said, this interactive aspect gets so much easier when you don't have to think about your material, manage your content. You can just focus on the questions of your community and give them your undivided attention while you know that your video is playing and it's exactly how you want it to be. So real quick, video storage. That's where you start. I already have one of my videos pre-uploaded, but if you don't have anything, you'll just have a big button that says upload your video, kind of like this one. And you can select where you're uploading from. Of course, it could be your computer as well as your drive, your Dropbox, or even Descript if you're using Descript as a solution for editing your videos. So once your video is uploaded, you can schedule your stream. So you create a title, you create your description, you can select a thumbnail that's going to work for you. I have like all kinds of images of our dashboards and like all kinds of little screenshots here, but you can select, let me see if I can find something. something reasonably pricing. Oh my god. Um, you select your image, and then you select your time and date. So let's say I want to go live on June 30th at 12:30 p.m. Now there's of course your description, and there's this important little checkbox here. If you select to check it, you will actually make an announcement on social platforms that support announcements. That's going to be LinkedIn, YouTube, and Facebook. So it will create that postcard with your thumbnail and say, hey, this event is happening on this day. Sometimes you do not want to, like, it's really good for pre promotion of your event, whether you're actually going live into it or you are streaming pre recorded video. But sometimes you just want that pre recorded video to show up as live naturally, right? Like without any pre-promotion. In that case, you can uncheck that button and then no event will be created. It will just start live at the time and the date that you selected. Next step, you select your channels. You can pick as many as you want. I'm just going to use this one. And honestly, that's it. After that, you just choose to select, you choose to save it. We do give you the opportunity to share your pairs link. So if you have any coworkers or friends or anyone else who would want to kind of restream or rebroadcast that event on their channels as well, that link will allow them to add those channels. But other than that, here's your event. And once it starts, the best part is that you'll be able to go back to your homepage and you will be able to preview your video and chat in your on your homepage with all your audiences from all channels across all of the platforms all in one place. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and on
Lots
the
of
end user, on sort of on the person who's viewing the stream, it would be impossible for them to tell the difference between an event that is live and not, which is good because it's a great experience on their side too. They're also getting the one-on-one interaction that I think most people turn to live video for, which is that you actually get to talk to the people on the video. So yeah, this is just a great feature for marketers. I think we had a couple when we were talking
yeah.
about repurposing content. Matthew asked, how does this work? Like, how do you repurpose
Yes.
content? So maybe Anya, you can show a little bit about like how marketers or other creators repurpose content with Restream.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the things that you can do is once you're done streaming, remember that if you are on our standard or higher plan, you also have a recording feature that we have for all of the streams that are happening. So what we're streaming right now is Rita is going to be recorded, and then we can access this video and download it later. So that's kind of your entry point. And to get there, let me share my screen once again, real quick. Whoop. So see how you would go to your video storage and then you have your recordings here. Like I don't have anything on this account, but once your stream is done, you can always simply download your recording, and then it really is up to you of what you can make out of it. You can create a podcast because we allow you to download separately just the audio tracks. You can download the audio track of yourself, your guests, or everything together. And that's a great opportunity to turn that content into audio anything. It could be a podcast, it could be a short audiogram for your social. And on top of that, you can download the whole video. And that's when you might want to use an editor, or if you're skilled to edit content yourself, there are lots of tools that allow you to do that pretty easily. You can create little clips. You can create, if you're using something like Descript, you can actually create a transcript, I guess, of everything that you talked about during the live stream. And that could become your blog post. That could become your landing page. That could become your ebook. So there's so many different ways how you can transfer that video into audio and then text. And then apply it in different ways and variations. So I would say, yeah, like your step one is to create that live stream, engage your audience, talk to them, engage your chatters, and then download that video and audio and distribute it among different channels that are more uh, focused on either text or audio.
Yeah, and we see a lot of marketers using this, especially for podcasts. Because Anya, correct me if I'm wrong, but you can download, and I'm not a tech savvy person, but split audio tracks. Is that how you call it? where
Yeah.
you like, your audio basically what that means is I think Anya's audio would be separate from mine, so you could edit my stuff separately from Anya's, which is makes it a lot easier to turn the audio from a live show into a podcast.
Yes, absolutely. Split audio tracks is super helpful because then you can have a little cleaner sound from one of your guests, for example, or panel discussion guests. And then it's very easy to turn that into a specific quote or into a specific audiogram, right? Like I mentioned, when you can just isolate that piece when some really amazing thing was mentioned or really good answer to your question was provided by a guest. Any kind of pearl of wisdom that you would like to share with your audience can be isolated and turn into that little bite-sized content piece. And you can make it audio, you can make it a quote, of course, visually, because you can always transcribe it. Uh, and yeah, so that's how you would use the split audio tracks. I see there are lots of really, really cool questions here also. So John is asking, why can't I record while streaming on standard? So you can actually, John, we do allow you up to 6 hours of recording per stream on standard plan. So uh, whenever you use Studio or even if you use OBS, we do record your streams starting from standard plan. You just go back to that recording section that I showed earlier, and that's where you can access and download it. And I see Lawson already shared an answer with you. It's like, yeah, you should find your recording available right here at Restream Video Storage Recordings. So Paul is kind of doubling down on the separate audio tracks. They really drive into the post-event edit process. Yes, it's also a lot easier to edit separate tracks because then we kind of don't have this problem here with Rita. We don't really talk over each other. But if we did, you could easily separate the two and isolate the tracks to make post production a lot more smooth. So that's
Yeah,
really
or if you have a
awesome.
guest that just rambles on and on and on and on forever, which has happened to the best of us, then you can cut that audio really easily.
Yep, absolutely. And what else? We have an Instagram question, and we're gonna take it. Can you show how to add Instagram to your restream? I'm going to do it live next week on Restream, and Instagram is the only one I haven't attached yet. So, Courtney, that's a great question. So there's a short answer and like a little longer answer of how we think about Instagram here. So officially, Instagram is not one of the platforms that Restream supports, and the reason is that Instagram itself does not want to integrate with multi-streaming solutions. So the only way Instagram wants you to go live is using your native app on your phone, and that's it. Because of that, we don't have that among our official channels. Now, there is a workaround. There is an app called Yellow Duck, just like Yellow Duck you would put in your bathtub, and like a little swimmy thing. And Yellow Duck does integrate with Restream. And Yellow Duck has a little hacky way of connecting your Instagram to Yellow Duck, and then basically you connect Restream to Yellow Duck and then Instagram to Yellow Duck, and that's how like it goes. Like your video could go on your Instagram channel. Now there are several caveats, like things to think about there. First of all, it's technically against Instagram terms of service, so they do not want you to multi-stream on Instagram. So kind of use it, swim at your own risk, so to say. And secondly, it's a little bit of a hacky workaround. So what will happen is the stream will go out as a so-called RTMP stream. So that means it's a one-way street. Your video will go out on your Instagram, but nothing will be coming back. So if the comments and chat engagement is important, unfortunately, you will still have to use your phone to look at those chats, and you won't be able to highlight them or show them like we are showing comments right now in Restream interface. So it's a little bit of a tricky way. And if it's super important for you to just send that video out on Instagram, then that Yellow Duck is a good workaround. But what we recommend people right now is to reach out to Instagram as much as you can and tell them that you would love to multi-stream on their platform. So maybe they would change our policy. And as soon as they're ready, we'll be happy to bring it to you. All right. Lots of
Yes,
comments here.
help us raise awareness about this issue with Instagram because as soon as they allow it, we are ready to go on our
Yep.
side.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome, awesome. So we have some really cool comments here, also from Facebook. Thank you so much, Restream. You have awesome support and marketing teams. Thank you. That is really, really great to hear. You guys made our day. It's super important for us to know that what we're doing is helpful. Yeah, let us know if you have any other questions about how to use Restream for marketing, as well as just any other Restream questions, just like this Instagram question. Anything that you would like to know, we are here for you. This is live Q&A, two-way street. This is the way we like to do it. And I see, yeah, Courtney is saying that she will definitely be reaching out to Instagram about this. Thank you. Awesome. Thanks. That's helpful. All right. So, for those in the chat who are working in marketing, I do have another quick trivia question, and also a quick little demo of our new feature called Ticker. So we recently introduced this kind of like running scrolling text in the bottom, so you can see it right there. So I would love to hear about what kind of products you guys are marketing. But there's a trick. You only can use emojis. So let us know. Drop in the chat emojis, and you can use any number of emojis because some products, like for example, Restream, I like to use, as you can see right here, camera and like little light, right? Like so, it's basically your light and camera. You can't really describe Restream with one emoji unless you use Squid, if you're familiar with Squiddy, who was featured earlier. But yeah, let us know in the chat, in the comments, using emoji, what kind of products do you market? And the less physical product it is, I think more difficult that would be. So we're looking forward to that.
Yeah, and by the end of this live session, we will also share a link to an ebook where we feature case studies from a variety of companies that use Restream to market their products. I have to say, working at Restream, we see a wide range of products being marketed with live video, from chainsaw art to software to educational experiences. And so, for the most part, I think live video is really versatile. I've been surprised being in this role how versatile live video is and how much it allows you to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And when we look at kind of like the composition of our creators, of course, not all of them are marketers. There's a big percentage of them, but also there are people who are thought leaders, educators, worship leaders, DJs and musicians, gamers. There's so many different industries and aspects of lives and passions that people are sharing through live video. That is extremely encouraging. So yeah, even if you're not a marketer, by the way, and if you're here in the chat, just let us know using emojis. What do you guys stream? And we'll try to guess. And we have a couple already in here. One is from Lawson. I love that. So we happen to know that Lawson works at Restream, so we kind of know that this is still Restream. So it's
Cheating,
combining.
too easy.
Yeah, but this is really cool because it's kind of like Squid on the loop on camera. Like I love that version of Restream. It's actually a lot brighter than just the camera and lights. It is kind of like never ending Squid being filmed. That's awesome. So Paul, this is also cheating because for me because I happen to know where Paul works. But Rita, if you want, I can let you give it a try.
Retail? Is it e-commerce or commerce?
Yes, it's
Yeah.
shopping. Yes, it's Shopify actually. So I was like, this
Cool.
is great. This is perfect emoji for Shopify. So yeah, e-commerce or retail. This is really good. And then we have Courtney and Matthew. Courtney has an interesting one. This is going to be fun to guess. So we have we have a thread, an image, paint, and it all goes into the cabinet. Rita, what do you
I
think?
think Courtney's a creator,
Yes,
and she is either creating apparel where she's sewing or art in general. And then I think the cabinet is probably the office. Like she's selling it online.
that would be that's a good one. Yeah, I would say arts and crafts. That's the first thing that came to me. But the cabinet in the end is kind of like, and then it all goes into the office, right? Or something. So yeah, Courtney, help us to demystify the cabinet, but we are going for arts and crafts or yeah, like apparel is another good one. If we're super off, by the way, guys, let us know in the chat because we want to find out. And this is the kind of things you can do in live video with your audience and with your community. You can get to know them better in using the variety of creative ways. So definitely, I invite you to try that next time you guys are streaming. We have Matthew here, so pretty simple. It's probably going to be a church service. So you guys are streaming your church service, and that's what you guys are using Restream for, and that's what Restream is helpful with, to help you distribute your message. This is awesome.
Yeah, that's a good
LOL from
point
Paul.
too. I think it's useful for marketers as well. It obviously churches do this very well that are on Restream. They're streaming an event that is happening in person, live at a certain location, and so that's another use case. Like if you run a really big conference or an in-person event, now that a lot of the quarantine rules are much more relaxed around the world, and we're back to many things being in person, you can still use Restream as a way to make that event hybrid or to make it accessible to a lot more people online.
Absolutely. Quick break from emojis. There's a great question here from John. He's asking about what happens when there's a break in internet connection while streaming. Does the stream restarts or resumes? Great question, John. So in general, for the best experience, I always recommend our creators to make sure that they have the best internet connection possible, because unfortunately, there's very little room for bad internet in the world of live streaming. So that's just something for you to consider. The best internet you can access is your best bet to have the best experience. But things happen. This is the nature of life. And when that happens, just like Lawson mentioned in one of the comments, we do give you a few minutes to reconnect. So, for example, if this stream would drop for me, actually, Rita, as my co host, will have basically the same rights and abilities. So, she'll be able to continue the stream on her own, which is one of the benefits of using our Teams feature and inviting co hosts, co producers, and admins to work with you. Because that's a great workaround in case your internet connection is not super stable. If you're streaming solo and your connection did interrupt, we do give you a couple of minutes. I think it's about 2 minutes to reconnect. So if your internet is coming back, you'll be right back into your stream and you continue without interruption. If it took you longer than 2 minutes, unfortunately, on our end, the system will think, okay, the stream is over, it's done. So we don't want you to have never-ending streams on your social, right? So of course, at that point, we will end the stream, and in this case, when you come back, you will start a new session. So you will still be able to continue with your video, and your audience will be able to see it if they're hanging out on your platform still. But yeah, after 2 minutes, that's going to be just a different session. So I hope that makes sense. And that is great. One last emoji thing that we definitely need to cover: video person, clever, and megaphone. So that is video production, I think, by Randy Mitchell. So video productions, video producers, remote producers are actually a huge chunk of free stream creators that I know of. Because a lot of times marketers have ideas, a lot of times businesses have needs, but then it all comes to the guy behind the scene, the tech hero, right? Like the person who is there to help run the stream, set up all the equipment, to figure out all the things. And that's what Randy does. That's awesome. Thanks for sharing.
We have another question in here from Jared. Jared's asking, how do you deal with the live YouTube lag on YouTube live stream with Restream?
Great question. So, when you say lag, you mean that there is a little bit of a delay between what's happening in real time and what's happening on YouTube. So, this is kind of like the standard, like, this is how streaming protocols work. You do have several seconds delay between, like, if you were in this same room with me right now and watching YouTube, yes, there will be a little bit of a discrepancy there. However, for most streams that you do as a marketer, that delay is barely noticeable. So like those couple of seconds that basically separate real time from what your viewers are seeing on YouTube are barely noticeable. And so for us, for me, that has never been an issue. I guess if you're having very dynamic stream where everything is kind of like real time, that could be a little bit more of an issue. But that's how live streaming works. And YouTube is not the only platform that has that delay. If you use Facebook, if you use LinkedIn, you will always have that little bit of latency there. And the better your internet connection is, the lower that latency is. So usually, most people experience about 2 to 3 seconds. Sometimes, if the internet connection is really struggling, it can be a little more. But for the most part, it is barely noticeable for your viewers, since they're not in the same room as you, if that makes sense. And if not, please elaborate, and we'll be happy to address the question. So Courtney clarified on our our guess. Remember the cabinet? Very good guess. Courtney says, I tried to show one of our product called Dreambox that fits all the craft supplies in one cabinet. I love that. So it's basically, you guys are selling craft supplies, and it goes in the box. That's awesome. Oh my god,
I
that
should
was a
get that.
very
Every time we do spring cleaning, my husband takes out all of my craft supplies and he's like, "We have to throw this out." I'm like, "No, these are all my craft.
this
Don't
is my
throw it
craft.
out." It's 'cause they're very
Oh,
disorderly, so something like a dream box sounds like exactly that, a dream.
yes, absolutely. So John was asking about, I think he was asking about pricing earlier. Please, what's the estimate? So you can find Restream pricing on restream.io/pricing, and I'm just going to drop it in the chat real quick, and even show it here in our captions, because we can create captions on the fly, and that's amazing. So this is how you can find out about our pricing, and you can also reach out to our customer support, which is that little button that says need help right in the lower right corner. And we have streaming technicians, specialists, folks who are very familiar with our products. You can describe exactly what you're looking for, and they can help you out with picking the best plan that works for you. So something to think about. And oh my God, I can't believe it. We have more emojis. So we have another church service from John. And we have this interesting emoji combination, uh, dating app.
I kinda give it away.
I was like, oh, who is this from? Dating app. Okay, that makes sense. At first, actually, when I just looked at the emojis, I thought you guys might be streaming weddings or something like that. So you're like a wedding event agency, and you do live streams, because the world is so global, and a lot of times people cannot attend a wedding, and that's actually a pretty solid business model right there.
A
Stream
good
important
idea.
events. Yep. But dating app makes perfect sense. And good emoji, good choice. This is awesome. All right. There's another comment here from Lawson. I just want to highlight that because it's really cool. A great tip if you're collaborating with your audiences is to ask something and talk about something while you wait for chat to catch up. Yes, so that's actually coming back to that latency comment, that sometimes you ask a question, and as you have seen here, we asked the question and it took people a couple of seconds to start showing the emojis. So yeah, just have a plan. Make sure that you give an example. Make sure you have something to show and share while you're waiting for people to first of all think about things, then type it up, and then for that little latency in chat before it shows up in front of you. So that's really good tip. Amazing. Awesome. So, as we are approaching the end of our practice, of our marketing practice, um, I just wanted to share a couple of or should we just go ahead and share our link to our ebook, so people
Yeah, I
can
can
start
definitely do that.
downloading that, because the ebook that we created, and Rita kind of mentioned that briefly, but I just want to kind of like hype it up a little more, because it was a really great piece of work that the marketing team put together. We actually looked at dozens and dozens of different companies and brands and use cases of how people use Restream. We interviewed a bunch of people in person, and the result, the labor of love, the result of that work was this ebook that you guys can download for free, absolutely. And you can see how different brands, and we're talking about big brands like Mercedes, to not disclose everything, and of course smaller brands and companies who are using Restream for marketing purposes, and we kind of connect them to specific use cases, business needs, problems and solutions, and specific features and tools that Restream has to offer. So you could have a look and see if those kind of issues, those kind of problems, or those kind of opportunities are relevant to what you are building or selling. So definitely give it a try and have a look. And of course, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to our customer support or to Restream team, and we'll be happy to help you make sense of it or see how we can help you apply that to your specific business. It's a
Yeah.
pretty cool and um, solid case study right
Yeah, and
there.
you'll see as Anya mentioned, some of the case studies are for larger brands. If you are watching this live show and you run your own business, it's a smaller business or a medium-sized business, do not be intimidated by those well-known logos that you'll see on the cover of the ebook. The truth is that I think one of the coolest things about Restream is that it allows you to do exactly what the big brands are doing without adding any huge budget to your plan. So, Restream allows you to build really, really cool live shows without having to invest a lot of money. So, even though the case studies that we feature are for really big brands, the stuff that these big brands are doing is exactly the same stuff that you can do, whether you're a very, very tiny business or a medium sized business, you can do with our product, even if you have no background in video.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, again, those are real Restream customers, real Restream stories. And by the way, another little shameless plug here. If you have an interesting story, just like a lot of things that you guys described using emojis earlier today, and you would like to be featured on our social media, please reach out to us. Let our support know because we're constantly looking for great examples of how people use Restream, and that's actually Rita's team that is in charge of that. And if you have something interesting going on, please share because we would love to show others how you guys do it. I'm just going to quickly highlight this amazing comment from Lawson. This pros did it when they ask for emojis. That's in relations to like how you can engage your audience. Like really cool tip and trick that you could do if you're not sure how to start conversation, how to break the ice. Start simple, right? Like people love to talk about themselves. People like to share what they do and make it easy for them, make it fun, and that's a good recipe for winning hearts and minds. And there is a good question here from John as well. How do I add multiple cameras while streaming? And I hope it doesn't slow down the resolutions. So currently, there are different ways how you could use Restream, right? Like, so you could use Restream in conjunction with professional software such as OBS, XSplit, and so on. If you're using one of those, then multi-camera is already included there, and then Restream just becomes a plugin that allows you to distribute your content on multiple destinations and social channels. If you're using Restream Studio, the multi-camera support is a little trickier, so it's not officially there yet. It's actually on our roadmap. We're planning to introduce it, but right now there is a workaround. You can invite yourself as a guest, and that other camera that you'll be using is going to need another computer, another laptop, or another system. But you can join from that other camera as a guest, just like Rita is joining me right now. And in that case, you can show a different angle of either your studio or if you're having an interview, you can basically position those two cameras into like from different angles and basically switch between them. So it's a little bit of a workaround, but it's possible. In terms of slowing you down, it won't because, like I said, it was going to work just like you guessed. And if you want to kind of like switch between those cameras, I'm going to demo it real quick here. So Rita, be prepared. I'm going to showcase you. So you'll be just maximizing one camera and then the other. See, like imagine that Rita was the same, basically in the same room, but just joined from a different computer from a different angle. And you can simply just do this all day. So we are going to stop it. So that's what I recommend as a workaround, and especially that would work really well, especially if you're kind of like a one man, one girl show, and you're trying to have one camera focused on you and another camera focused on your art and craft or on your keyboard. If you're showing exactly how you're using things, you can just point that other camera on your keyboard and just basically switch in between by maximizing one or the other. That is great. Next question. We just want to make sure that we focus on the questions that you guys are asking because we want to address as many as possible. So please keep bringing them in. Looking for ideas to host a Q&A and the website tour. Oh, that's a good one. Rita, what do you think? Do you have any ideas for a live Q&A and the website tour? Like how would you
Yeah.
approach that? That's a
Well, funny
challenging
enough, I
way to
feel like
test.
this show is a good example of a format that you can use where you have two people from your team who come prepared with a topic or something that you are discussing and then open the floor for questions. If you download the ebook too, we have an example in there from a team at Microsoft that is tasked with helping developers understand how to use their cloud product. And they've created a whole YouTube channel for developers, and they host weekly sessions where developers jump in and they just ask questions of the people who are building their products. It's really lively. The guy who we interviewed that runs the show said, sometimes we have hundreds of developers, sometimes we have very few. But even when we have very few, what really matters is really the engagement and the feedback and the one on one conversations that they have. And so I think in terms of ideas, like the ebook has some ideas for you. This show is a format that you can easily use. I think honestly, Q&As and website tours are one of the easiest use cases for Restream and for live video. Like you'd be surprised if you get on Restream how quickly you can set that up for Dodge County Fairgrounds.
Totally. And since you mentioned website, one of our newer features is actually allows you to stream directly on your web page. So if your website is kind of a big aggregator of your traffic and a lot of people are visiting you there, you can actually embed live stream just like this one on your website. So people who don't necessarily know that you also have an account on Facebook or you are streaming on YouTube can find your live video directly there, which is also super powerful. And then you basically can capture your leads by inviting them to fill in the form or simply reach them exactly where they find you, which is your web page. That is that's probably the easiest. Another tip that I always give for Q&A sessions, of course you can start a Q&A session, but when you're kind of early in the game, I definitely recommend to pre-promote it as much as possible. So send the invitation to join your live stream to your email list so you don't have an empty and quiet, silent chat, right? Maybe invite a guest or even a customer that you could interview, and you can also invite them to connect their channels to Restream using our feature called Pairs. So your guests can come in, add their channels, and then the stream will go on your channels and on their channels as well. It's free for your guests. It's very easy to do. Something to kind of help you build that momentum and build that audience in the beginning. And then consistency. Then just keep doing that over and over again, and train your people that every Wednesday, once a month or once a week, you're going to be here to answer their questions and help them out. So that is something that definitely hopefully helps. And of
Yeah,
course,
yeah, and back to
as
the
always,
video on the website, just what quickly what you mentioned that you can stream to your website. We're also seeing marketers add that as an item in their navigation. So if you have a live show where it's a routine Q&A that, let's say, happens every first Tuesday of the month, or a live product demo that happens every Friday, something like that, you can have a tab on your navigation, for example, that just says, live show or we're live. And then people who are visiting your website, if you have a website that has a lot of traffic, then can go live just by clicking on that page on your site, which is pretty cool. So they don't need to find you on YouTube or Facebook or any channel. They can also find your live show on your website, which can be really powerful. I have a really fun one from Syed DJ
yes, I love
Rivera.
that.
I want to
Yeah.
be famous on YouTube and Facebook Live. How do I do that? I wish there was like a one formula, but DJ Rivera, I read your question and I immediately thought of one of the live shows that we do with Restream users. And we did one with a man that was named World Piano Man by Elton John. And
Yes.
we have a lot of musicians that use Restream to stream their music, both playing live, but also doing DJing sessions. And so I would highly recommend that you watch this show because he goes into his kind of formula for success and what he's done to grow his audience and viewership to the hundreds of thousands.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say another, not a DJ myself, so take this was a grain of salt, but I would say utilize the interactive aspect of live streaming as much as you can. So the Piano Man was actually pretty good at that by basically converting his chat into his song request scenario type situation, right? Like, so you could drop a song in the chat and then he would play that song. And sometimes he would ask people to also share the occasion, like, why this song? Why do you want me to play that? Like, specific song. And then he would kind of like make it much more interactive than just a regular request played. So definitely take advantage of engaging those people who showed up and who decided to spend that time with you on your channel, and with a little bit of consistency there, and like kind of like learning from how your audience is acting and what they love, what they prefer. That's your best path of to become famous. Really love that. Good, honest question. Like, that's what I want. How did I get there? Love it.
Yeah, yeah, I feel like a lot of people have that question, and there is no one answer for sure. But I would say that magic word of consistency is something that we hear time and time again from professional live streamers and people who make a living from live streaming. They are consistent about their habit of going live. Even in the beginning, when they have a very small audience or no audience at all, they continue to do it. And so I would say if I had to think of one tip or one thing that brings all successful live streamers together, I think consistency would probably be it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And Courtney is asking about TikTok. Can I also use Yellow Duck to go live on TikTok? I believe you could, but TikTok is actually a little easier. You can use TikTok as an RTMP, like a custom destination, with Restream. So as long as you have your stream key and your URL for TikTok, you can actually add it to your destinations directly on Restream. Just remember that TikTok has certain limitations on who can go live on TikTok. I believe you have to have a certain number of followers and you have to be approved to be a live streamer, similarly to LinkedIn Live. So just make sure that you take care of that first, and then you can use TikTok as one of the platforms with customer TMP. The thing that is similar to Instagram, that it is still going to be a one-way street, because again, TikTok is a mobile, mainly mobile first, so the comments will not be coming back. You'll still have to watch them on your phone, but the content will go through if you are approved to stream and if you're using our customer TMP settings. And another clarification from John regarding two cameras. He's wondering, how do you sync your audio with the main camera, and can you mute the other audio? Yes, if you're using Studio, so if you're using OBS, there are all kinds of customizable settings right there. So I'm sure you know how to do that there. But if you're using Studio, I'm just gonna show the screen right here. Like, so it's going to do the infinity loop, but I'm just going to show you how exactly you can mute your, so this is me, right? Like, this is my settings, and I can see myself, so I can mute myself if I want to. And this is Rita, and she actually muted herself just to make sure we don't have any echo or anything. And at any point, if that's your second camera, you can mute it permanently, or you can mute and unmute it in case you need to get the audio from it at some point. So yes, it's pretty easy to do. If you're using Studio, you can totally mute one of the cameras whenever you need to. Amazing. Oh, a couple more questions just before we wrap up. Let's see. Let's take this one from Shalalala Productions. I have a feeling you guys have something to do with music too, but correct me if I'm wrong. When you go live, do you prefer to hold your program on one channel, or do you let the content dictate where you go? An example: business heavy topics on LinkedIn, candid conversation on YouTube. Oh, I love this one. Rita, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it depends on the product that you're selling and how different those audiences are. We find that our product, the Restream product, is really versatile. As I mentioned earlier, we have people who are artists who are going live to share how they do their art. And then we have B2B marketers that are doing so within a corporate office in Los Angeles. And so our audience is we have a lot of different user types, and all of those user types are interested in understanding how to use our product better and the features that can help them do a better job engaging with their audience. So I would say on the Restream side, we do not discriminate as much when it comes to broadcasting our content. For the most part, we try to reach as many people as possible with our shows, but our shows, I think, are applicable to a wide range of people. If you have a product that maybe you work for a company that has a product that is more on the B2B side, and you have LinkedIn followers that are looking for that product, and then other products that are more consumer focused where the majority of your audience is on Facebook, I would or Instagram or any other social platform like YouTube, I would absolutely recommend being a little bit more discriminating in terms of choosing where your content is streamed to. So it
Yeah,
depends. Yeah.
absolutely. And there is a little clarification from them. LOL. Thanks for asking. We are a video production company offering video production and live streaming service. That's awesome. That's exactly the kind of producer and like behind the scene creator that we see quite a lot. So that's awesome. That's really good to hear. Great question. Um, really it was great to see all guys here, and as we are wrapping up our show today, we encourage you to continue joining our monthly streams. Those demo and Q&As happen every month for us. So we have great shows for you coming up in July, August, and moving forward. And if you have any technical questions, just remember that we have 24/7 customer support team, always there, real humans, not bots, no tickets, actual live chat conversations with our streaming specialists. Feel free to drop in that chat and ask anything you want, whether you're trying to onboard, understand how the product works, learn more about our tools and services, or you are having some issues that you would like them to troubleshoot. They're there for you. And the ebook that we dropped a couple of times in chats and comments. Let me actually highlight that comment one more time. So the ebook is here. So it's restream.io/solutions/marketing/ebook. That's how you find our case studies. And I think it is time for our high five, Rita. So we
High
can
five.
do the high five. All right, ready? One, two,
Yeah.
three. Awesome.
Feels like we're in the same room.
Yes, it looks like we're in the same room. And at some point, we will prepare like a little thing when we will be like passing things to each other through the screen.
Oh my god, yes.
Not this time, but next time we will. And thanks again so much for watching us. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
your questions and for your streaming, for your support. We love you. Bye.
Yeah, we look forward to seeing you soon. Bye.